Alrighty. Let me go ahead and lower the music. So, it is a good about 24-ish hours after we last left off for you two, Magnatar and Nexus, where a shadow creature had appeared after Sentinel was revealed to be, well, Sentinel. He wasn't just Zeta Sentinel, he was Sentinel Prime. That was revealed, and then...
Shocker.
Yeah, and then a strange phantasm creature appeared that looked like the person that Hades would somewhat know from historical records and such, but Nexus would know fairly well as Leech Maximo, but as far as anyone could tell, including that of Alpha Trion and McAdam, apparently, who showed up for some reason. Best assumption, him and Alpha Trion were having drinks again.
Well, he literally say
No,
Alchemist?
no, he was still McAdam.
Okay.
Yeah.
I swear it may have been a slip of the tongue because I swear you said Alchemist at the time, but maybe that's just me.
But
The...
So the two of them were there, and they basically said that's not Liege. And then what Nexus and Magnatar's players weren't here for, but last session, episode 3, started off with Alpha Trion activating a strange light and the shadow creature vanishing, to which he gave no context for what had just happened, what the creature was, and what he just did, and just fucking left. McAdam
So what you're saying
followed.
is Alpha Trion flashed his giblets at him.
Yes. It is now the next day. Alpha Trion, Jazz, Orion Pax, Alita 1, and for the moment, Ratchet, who had just finished helping repair Nexus's arm, have gathered you all, the two of you here, to discuss some stuff. Blue Line has also joined you today. Red Streak currently still recharging after a very exhausting mission last.
Yep.
Orion Pax kind of steps forward. Thank you, you three, for coming today. I see that your other friends are not with you today. And he kind of looks to Alpha Trion, who just kind of gives a nod of like, yes, that's correct, Orion. And Orion looks back and is like, I have been debriefed by Alpha Trion. We all have, as to the events that transpired yesterday. And I wish to both deeply apologize for you all being put in such a position, but also thank you deeply for all the help that you have done for us, helping us uncover Zeta's true identity properly and not just leaving it to speculations, but also for getting the information that you could from the Decepticons. And for stopping Project Dark.
Yeah. Honestly, that was mostly crossroads.
Well, be sure to give them my thanks next you see them.
Of course.
And Magnatar, I heard you did fairly well leading the team.
Just doing my job, sir.
Yes, well, I'd like to thank you for doing so. You've stepped up when most bots more than likely would not in these situations.
Well, sorry about that.
You've done us all a service, soldier.
Magnatar gives a salute and he's like, it's easy to lead when you got a gun in each hand and a smile on your face.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind then, Magnatar. Thank you.
He gives a little raise of the brow and a smile.
Well,
Not a bad outlook.
well, that is all from me. I believe Lita had something for you all. Yes, we have reason to believe that there are some Decepticon movements relating to Trypticon happening soon, somewhere not so savory. The location is
Where?
Tiger Pax.
Oh, great.
Currently it is neutral territory, but both Autobots and Decepticons have been making small pushes here and there for the territory, as it is a very useful location for supply chains. We fear that
Yeah.
if movements related to Trypticon Station take place in Tiger Pax, that we will lose the city. Now, you all have done a lot to further our, well, push on Trypticon Station and everything involved with it. So, I am not ordering you to do this. This is simply a request. If you so choose, are in the place in the right time, or have the energon left to muster the strength to go to Tiger Pax and stop the Decepticons from taking it, and from gaining more information, possibly even the exact location of Trypticon's new orbit, please do so. But again, do not feel obligated to. Alpha Trion tells me that there are many other things that he has you all working on that I'm sure you would all also like to attend to. But thank you.
Of course.
No worries.
And Alpha Trion will step forward. Yes. There is much for you all to work on. Your allies, Hades, Crossroads, and a new ally, a new medic, Nexus, you may know of them, Loose Wires. They have recently... Well, so, Nexus, you don't know them by that name.
Oh, okay.
You heard of them by that name within the Autobots. You know of them working with Ratchet and everything.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of him.
Yes, well, he has also recently joined the party.
I see.
They recently got back from investigating Sentinel's office, finding a lot of really valuable information. However, a lot of it is encrypted. And Nexus, I know how you love hacking a good encryption.
Especially if it's from Sentinel. This'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Anyhow, they're in the Hall of Records if you wish to meet up with them and do a little bit of digging. But also note, take your time. As much as it has been a full 24 hours since you returned from your mission, Nexus, you only just got your arm back. And I'm sure you all need some rest.
I've been resting enough with the arm injury.
Yes, well, that'll be all. I must be off. And he will leave. Jazz, Alita, and Orion all give you like little salutes, little quick salutes, and also head off. Ratchet kind of walks over to Nexus. You be careful with that arm there, Nexus. I may have been able to reattach and repair it fully, but it's still recovering. And then he looks to Magnatar.
No.
Be careful with those legs, damn it. How many times are you going to break them?
Oh, seems like you might want to tune them up and get stronger.
Yeah, I'll start working on some plans to do just that, I guess.
Appreciate the help, Ratchet.
Goes up, puts a hand on Ratchet's shoulder. He's like, "Thanks. I know you always have my back."
Yeah, I do, Magnatar. You're worth it, funny enough. And I suppose you too, Nexus. And he'll walk off.
Wow.
Remember, Nexus is still a bit of a weird case because he is a Decepticon traitor. So a lot of bots are still, but also he's an asshole. So.
Yeah, no, he's like I said, he doesn't give a shit about tact. Like, tact is not social tact, and graces are not his thing.
Yeah.
So Blue Line's gonna walk up in between you two, and as her usual airheaded self is gonna be like, I didn't know Hades and the others hung out in the Hall of Records. When did they start doing
Below.
that? Below. Oh, right, that place.
Yeah. Yep.
Right,
It's supposed to be a secret, so he said it that way, but
right. Okay. Well, should we meet up with them?
probably. Sounds like they got some interesting stuff. Plus, there are some questions I have about some of the stuff we know that, that Sentinel was looking into. And I'm hoping they found some information on that answers some of those questions. So I'm very interested in seeing what they found from his office.
Okay.
Let's move out then. And we will head to the entrance to the night base.
Alrighty, so let me go ahead and grab y'all's tokens.
Hey,
No.
Nexus.
Yeah?
You ever consider using treads considering your position as a scientist?
Maybe, but not really put a whole lot of thought in it.
Might help with some less than favorable terrain, you know, field of study and all that.
That's fair. I've been able to manage with this mode just fine thus far. Suppose I've grown a bit attached to it, I guess.
Don't you have a jet mode as well?
Yeah, that too.
Alright, so...
You know what? Fair point. I
Yeah.
keep forgetting that you have more than one alt mode.
Yeah.
Alright,
A
so
bit rarer.
y'all head on over to the Temple of the Night.
Megatron? Oh, never mind.
Lamal. And they're just kind of outside hanging out. You see Hardlift, RC, Wheeljack. Hey guys, there y'all are.
How's it going?
It's going good, big guy. How are you?
Hey. Do I see these
Yes,
two besides him?
you see Wingsaber. Crossguard is technically inside with Hades. But you do see Wingsaber who's standing there. Hello, you three.
Hey, Wingsaber.
Greetings, sir.
How are you two doing after your last encounter?
We haven't technically met him, have we?
Yeah, just briefly.
I didn't think we did.
Very
I thought it was
briefly.
only
He was
Cross-
guarding the door.
Good. We heard the others came back with some info.
Yes, they did. Much of it encrypted. But what we did find that wasn't encrypted was interesting and alarming.
How so?
Seraphicus.
Of course. Yeah.
His
I had a
project
feeling.
was under investigation by Sentinel.
You mean Project Proudstar?
Yes, it was.
How did they... Damn it.
Unsure.
Okay. That's extremely concerning.
Indeed.
And I better get in there.
Probably best. And he'll just kind of go back to guarding the door. Crossguard will be waiting.
Right. I will head inside.
Alrighty. Hades, what is it that you are doing at the moment?
All right. So I assume he would probably still be finishing up the research he was doing on the sword before the group comes in.
Yeah.
You still have all the files and stuff like that they picked up soon, presumably.
Yes. A
Okay.
good bit of it, a good deal of it, still in that language that you do not recognize, and you're pretty confident that this language is one that even Nexus himself would not be able to decipher because of its clear ancient tongue.
Uh-huh.
But it's very much one of those things where it's like you're able to pick out words here or there that Sentinel himself had taken notes in, though the other language seems to not be written by Sentinel but something else.
All right.
But what you have gathered is what I had sent you.
Yeah,
in DMs.
what you mentioned.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, presumably y'all are walking into the library.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess he'll hear you kind of look over his shoulder and turn around. You're here, good.
Yeah.
I've been doing some research on these files, but there's only so much I can find. I have a feeling not even you would be able to discover some of this written in the ancient tongue.
I mean, I know a few ancient tongues. I don't know all their languages, but I might be able to recognize it. I don't know that many. I suppose that you wouldn't also know, but I can't read or speak. I know of one ancient tongue that I can't read or speak all that well, but I know of it at least.
Well, you're welcome to try your luck. Here, he'll motion for you to come over. Where were we keeping the files?
They are currently still in the boxes that you found them in. But they're sitting out on one of the larger tables of the Knight's Library for you and the group to look through.
Yeah, so he'll motion you to come over to the boxes.
I'll come over and start looking.
Alrighty. Go ahead and roll culture, linguistics if you have it.
Can I give upshift?
Yes, you can. You can go ahead and lend assistance if you wish.
Yeah. Well, would you like upshift or edge?
Edge. Probably.
Edge, then.
I have a D2,
right.
So it's. I'll have Sparkplug give me an. I'll have him give me a. I think he has.
He's a Power Master, correct?
Yeah.
Then he very much can give you lend assistance.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Because if he's linked, then yeah, he acts more or less like a regular minicon in that sense.
Yep, so I will have him give me lend assistance as well.
Remember, he gives you 3 additional fucking energon.
I know. Trust me, I know.
Power Masters on a scientist is bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, I discovered that with Star Runner, so I did it here too.
Star Runner had a Power Master?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
We never fleshed out the actual Power Master companion, but
fair enough.
He had the perk.
Fair enough.
Let's see. So he was able to have 20 energon by the time he was level 20.
Bullshit.
That's so much.
Yeah, because he had a 15 in arts, and then he had Spark of the Ancients and Power Master.
That makes sense.
So his max pool of energon was 20 at 20.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll use an energon point because why not? I have plenty to spare.
Yeah.
So that's 2 upshifts and edge.
Wow. 218.
Nice. All right, real quick. Magnatar, what is it you are doing while you're here at the Knight's Temple?
Are there any books for me to read?
Yeah, there are plenty of books. There are even picture books.
Even picture books?
Man,
There's
I
so
just
many
read
books.
regular books. I'm trying to get smarter.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. What kind of books are you looking to read?
Honestly, maybe some, just any like code of conduct, or like anything that kind of gives insight into like how knights think.
Yeah. So the history of the knights. There's a small section in the library on the history and that sort of stuff. Because
Hayes could probably point you to that direction
Yeah.
if you want.
It's like I wrote half of them myself.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah, there's a entire shelf basically of the history of the knights and their sort of like the ways of the knights type of deal.
It's less about him learning how to do stuff that they do, and more so him understanding why and how.
And that's what that
Yeah.
section both sections will kind of explain it, because it's not all concisely in one book. It's like spread out throughout their history as to why and how they do what they do, because it has evolved.
So I'm just gonna sit over there and read that.
Fair enough.
All right.
I'll go ahead and also have you roll a culture check just to see what you get, so I can like determine how much you're able to read before Magnatar starts to get sleepy.
8.
Damn. So you managed to read the original history of the knights. Basically, quite literally, you read the Book of the 12. So you just straight up learned the tragedy that was the Predacon race. And
Well, I kind of like look over to I look over to Hades and I'm like, I'm so sorry, man.
once you get through that book, you start on the book of you're reading them out of order because Magnatar, I'm sure, doesn't care that much. He's looking for specific things.
Pretty much, yeah.
So you end up reading a book about the knights during the Golden Age, and Magnatar starts reading through it, and he's reading about how, for the most part, they stayed underground while they trained and they built themselves up. They kept an eye out for threats from outside of Cybertron. Seemingly, their entire purpose was to defend Cybertron itself and its people, no matter what's going on with the people itself, from greater threats than their own species, being either the Quintessons, which you don't know what the fuck those are yet. You've just started reading them randomly in these books, as well
But
as.
how did you know about them in my conspiracy theories?
I mean, you know about them to the extent of like the storybooks and stuff like that, where they still kind of exist, but you don't know what they specifically are yet. It's one of those things. But other than that, you start to just kind of drift to sleep because some of it is just the Knights secretly helping build a lot more of Cybertron's infrastructure than most Cybertronians are aware of. Yeah, exactly.
There it is.
Yep.
That's what he'll say when presumably he hears the snoring
Yep.
across the library.
But Nexus. So you
Yep.
rolled a 19 to discern the language. You have no fucking clue what language this is. This is definitely not the language of the Primes, nor is it any form of Quintessonian. You have no clue what language it is. You are able to decipher a little bit more using context clues from what is written in Cybertronian and Neo-Cybex, but other than that, you're unable to really decipher this language.
Yeah, I don't recognize it, but I have a feeling Alpha Trion probably would. Alpha Trion and McAdam would be able to probably recognize it, or at the very least, better decipher it.
Do you think they'd
Definitely
be willing to
something
aid
we
us?
should ask. That's the question, is they probably could translate it. It's whether they'd be willing to actually translate it and honestly tell us whatever it says that I'm not certain of. can never really tell with those two what they're willing to give information-wise. That's the annoying part.
The least we can do is ask, if nothing.
Yeah, it can't hurt to ask. Anyways, I heard there was a bunch of other stuff to...
Well, real quick, Nexus. So, this is something Hades had already managed to decipher, and you haven't deciphered it much beyond this. But what you have read while reading through this is that the sword that Hades now wields is a sword known as the Void's Edge Saber. It was something that was wielded by a bot who was named Prime, but Sentinel had basically scratched out any instances of the first name.
Would I recognize the blade, the name of the blade?
Nope, not at all. Sentinel depicts it as a blade that was a relic of a forgotten entity, known simply as the Void Fallen, disciple of the Beyonder.
Well, that's...
It was last used in the Unknown Shadow War, this mysterious Prime using it to defeat the shadows of the Void before both the Prime and the sword vanished. Sentinel notes the sword is supposed to be able to open rifts through space and time, but when wielded improperly, it distorts and warps time and space around it instead, and sometimes opens random rifts, sucking anything nearby, including itself, into those rifts. Sentinel believes that most likely this was the case as to why it ended up where it ended up, and why it was causing those strange effects on the refinery.
Yeah.
So
Hades.
Oh,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'll
Sorry.
probably translate what all of that to Hades.
Well,
Hades did translate some of it.
This is everything
Yeah.
Hades knows. I'm quite literally reading off my notes from my DMs with Utopia.
that she sent to me. But yeah,
I
Hades
said
with
that I got more than it, so...
A bit more, yeah. So the little bit more that you found is that this sword was a relic that can only be wielded by someone chosen by something greater than the Primes.
nice.
Nexus, you learn that this sword has been used in two total wars. One, the Unknown Shadow War, and the other, a war that seemingly is more ancient than the war you fought, a war you were unaware of.
I wonder if this has to do with their original fight. Looks like it was used in two wars. This Unknown Shadow War, and a seemingly much older war. An older war than the war with the Quintessons, even.
Hmm. So would Hades know anything about that?
No.
No, okay.
The Primes have kept that war secret from all of the universe.
My guess is they would never say anything about it. They'd always avoid the subject or change the subject, but... So it's no secret you know who I am, right, Hades? Who I really am?
Hardly. We had
Yeah.
notes and suspicions for quite some time.
Right. So... The Primes never gave us any information about it, but some of us were able to discern some things from context clues. Like, for instance, despite the fact that from the moment the first of us were built, the Primes already had their relics in play, which included many weapons, powerful weapons that could, in the wrong hands, be used to destroy stars and planets. And there would be no need, and if nothing happened before the war with the Quintessons, there'd be no need for that. Also, during the end of the war with the Quintessons, Liege Maximo seemingly summoned something, some sort of monstrosity, ancient and powerful, and some of the primes, it seemed like they recognized it. Like they knew how to fight it.
All the more
So
important
we-
to...
so-
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So me and some of the others, particularly me and Seraphicus and a couple of the others of the first 13 of us, pieced together that through context clues, most likely there was some sort of ancient enemy that the primes battled. My assumption is most likely that this blade was used in that battle.
That blade was not
Which
used in
prob-
that battle. Crossguard kind of walks over.
Okay. How would you know, though?
Simple. We have learned more about that battle. A threat that even the Quintessons would be afraid of. A threat on par with Cybertron itself. Beyond that, we do not know of it. But we do know that only the Prime Relics were used in that war. That much the Knights have been able to learn. This sword was used in a war more ancient than the Primes themselves, I think. This language in this book. We do not have a means to deciphering specifically the entirety of the Prime's language, but we have, thanks to Cerebros' help, begun to decipher it more. The language in this book seems to be so ancient that even Cerebros' technology is unable to decipher it, and it can decipher most languages after that of the Primes.
I see. And I suppose... Well, I'm sure at the very least Alpha Trion knows something.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's just whether he's willing to give that information or not.
Yes. There's much for you to do research on. I mainly came over to check on you, Nexus. I heard you lost your arm in the last fight.
Yeah, Ratchet helped reattach it.
Good to
Yeah, it's
know.
fine. It's not like I haven't lost it before.
I am aware. And Magnatar, I hope you're enjoying your reading over there.
He's-
Oh,
Thank you.
sorry about that. I think where I was last at was the architectural part, and I just
Trust me,
fell asleep.
that was the most boring part to live through. It's okay that you fell asleep reading it.
But
I'd
It's
rather
quite
enjoy
normal for
developing
many a
the
student to fall asleep during that
I'd
section.
rather enjoyed developing the infrastructure of Cybertron, but
Well, shut
I
the hell up.
suppose that
You
should
were
be-
part of a very specific development of the infrastructure.
I helped in a lot of places. Let's be real.
Yes, by
I was
doing
all
one
over.
specific thing, being a scientist. Anyhow, I best be off. I have other work to attend to, new knights to train and all. Good day, everyone.
Take care of yourself, Crossguard.
be safe.
And he will go ahead and head
around.
off.
So,
Yeah, Hades,
Mm.
I'm sorry to hear that happened to you guys. Predacons and all that.
yes, it's been a long regret of mine. One cannot
yeah,
change
what-
the past, I suppose.
Yeah. Anywho,
don't
I
mind
interrupted
me,
you.
yeah.
Please continue.
Yeah, go ahead, Nexus.
You don't mind me asking. What
Mm.
did happen to the Predacons? All I really know is that they existed before us, and that they stopped existing before we came online.
That's a long story to tell, but just know that they were wiped out by an ancient enemy of ours.
Would that be... The only ancient enemy I can think of would be the Quintessons.
Indeed.
Ah. Yeah, that's a... That makes sense. Can't say I'm too surprised about that. Some of them can be pretty nasty.
his expression will turn kind of dark, and he'll nod.
Yeah. Well, I heard there was stuff relating to Project Proudstar.
Oh yes. Where were those files? He'll kind of tap his thumb. Where were they? On the table.
They were with the rest. You guys ended up just kind of putting them all into one big box, basically, to make transport easier.
Okay, he's like, where were they? So he'll start sifting through the box to try and find those files. Do I need to roll anything for that, or did I just get them?
You could get them easily.
Okay. Here. See if you can make any sense of this. Because wait, I'm about to say, we knew Nexus was involved? I don't want to make assumptions that be very wrong.
Not really. You simply know that because Nexus had reacted to when you first started hearing about Project Proudstar in session 2, that he knows something.
Oh, okay. Surely you can make a bit more sense of this than the rest of us, and he'll hand over the files to you.
As Hades digs through the box to gain the files, you see a replica model of something alarmingly familiar to you, Nexus.
That. Can I see that, Hades?
Oh yes, of course. He'll give you the item.
The transcription. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. All we know about it is that it was labeled as a key of some kind within.
How the hell does he know
his
about
office.
this?
We're not sure.
No one. 6 people knew about this. Only 6. So how the hell did he find out? It was one of Cybertron's most closely guarded secrets. Well, I guess I have even more reason to kill him now.
Perhaps what might find answers in his journal, as deranged as it might have been.
Yeah. Because the issue is this is a key to something that, while it wasn't its intention, if it falls into the wrong hands, could be a devastatingly powerful weapon.
I see.
Luckily, this only appears to be a replica. The fact that he even knows key to that thing exists means he knows the device exists. And nobody but a handful of bots knew that the device existed. And he shouldn't have been one of them. Damn it.
Perhaps the files there will provide us some clues then? He'll motion towards the Proudstar files.
I'll start looking into it. Oh, and sorry sis, what inscription was on it?
It was quite literally what Hades said. It was just titled Replica of the Key.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. You basically said what I was going to say.
Okay.
Okay. And I will start looking into the Proudstar files.
All right. And the other stuff that's left is the Decepticon troop movements and such files. Do the other two of you want to look into that?
If Magnatar isn't busy reading, he'll motion for him to come over to take a look at this.
Yeah, sorry, I was reading more into the night stuff.
You're like, Magnatar, I believe this may be of your interest. We have...
Connectivity.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Troop movement seems like the kind of thing that's right up your alley.
Yep. So let me take a look, see at this here. I think it can make a nice little route of bombing, let's just say.
So you realize as you try to get into the files that they are kind of locked and you need to do a little bit of hacking to get into them. Nothing too much.
Nexus?
No problem.
I
should
only
be
have
able
like
to
a
get
D2
into
in
that.
technology.
That's
Magnatar
fair.
knows only the bare minimum in smart skills.
That is fair. It's not a high difficulty, I will say that much. But next,
It
Yeah,
also
this is
helps
easier.
that I am an
this is
ex-con.
true. This is true.
Yeah.
Ah, fuck right, you get an automatic upshift because you're an ex-con in this.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It's fucking Starscream's browser's account.
No, but Nexus will recognize the work of Knockout for the sake of the security measures on the files. Lazily done.
Yep. So automatic upshift
Yep.
to tech
Yep. Computers or hacking.
and. Yep. Well, luckily I act as specialized anyways.
Fuck, that's right.
As analytical.
Because analytical.
Fuck, that's right.
Whoa, that 30. That crit 30.
Also, expertise because I have a natural D8.
And expertise, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Jesus Christ.
So that's a crit 34. Or no, a crit 35.
God damn. Okay. Well then. Yeah, you hack in no problem to all the files, and even some of the more deeper encrypted files for them to go over. Do you wish to go over it with them, or do you wish to go back to the Proudstar stuff while they look over these?
I will go back. I will let them look over those. I'm kind of single-mindedly like, I need to get to the bottom of this Proudstar stuff.
Go ahead and roll.
'Cause I'm the only one who can.
Go ahead and roll hacking again for the Proudstar stuff. But while you do that, you two can start reading.
Alright.
I'm gonna start
we
diving
start-
into this.
Alrighty. So.
My little notepad out.
Yeah, both of you go ahead and roll culture. I'm gonna give y'all Anno. I'm gonna say roll that as if you're trained at a D2 in it.
Alright.
I already have a D4 in that,
Yeah,
so
mainly because
let's go.
I'm getting Anno to avoid the fucking edge, the snag.
yeah, that's fair.
Not bad, not bad.
Alright. And then where's my
19.
culture?
Oh wait, Nexus, that's shit.
And well, it's actually because of my
Expertise.
expertise. It's a
Oh yeah, that's
critical,
fair. That's fair.
19,
Fair enough.
a critical 19, so
Alright.
not that bad.
Fair enough. All right.
Compared to the 30, but it's better than 13.
Yeah,
Yep, I can always
Alright.
roll again if I need to.
that's true.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
Alright, yeah, D4. So where's my D4? There's my D4. That's a 22.
Alrighty, so, alright, so, you guys, Hades, you find a couple of things from the information. You find that, Triptychon Station itself has been moved from its, stationary orbit position to a city much closer to being orbiting above a city much closer to Kaon itself. The city in question is none other than Voss.
Okay.
That city you will know just from your time being around Autobots and stuff long enough now, and learning what you have from the Knights about Decepticon and Autobot territories. You are aware that currently Voss is still a neutral, uncontrolled territory. In fact, it is a territory that is on the opposite side, that is closer to the Decepticon side of Tiger Pax compared to the Autobot side of Tiger Pax. You also learn that something relating to Triptychon Station in the Sea of Rust was being constructed. Something which materials that you had seen being shipped from the station were being sent to. Magnatar, you find something very interesting to you. Something titled Project Predacon. This project was being moved back to the station after it had been temporarily moved off of it to the depot that you had all been to, where, you broke your legs temporarily. You learn that those
We
crates.
blew up some of those.
Yes, you blew up some of those, but it seems that for the most part, the project seems to be in full swing again.
Oh no.
However, in the notes it does say that Project Predacon now being moved to highest priority project status, which means it was not originally a very high priority.
But it is now.
Yep.
Interesting.
They're in need of a weapon more than ever then. Hey y'all, you might want to take a look at this. Project Predacon being put on the high priority.
Oh, great. Oh, right, I guess I hadn't informed that many people about that.
Well, technically,
Huh.
you had to brief the Autobot command on it. So, like,
Yeah,
the majority
right,
of the actual Autobot soldiers, Hades wouldn't know much about it, but the Autobot soldiers would.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, right, I guess I failed to bring that up
Yeah.
to you, Hades.
As much
It's,
so, yeah, Dan, go ahead. Sorry.
He's like,
I
yeah,
don't
this
know
project, what is it?
it's something Shockwave's working on. I don't know the full extent of it, but a while back I was able to infiltrate one of his labs and hacked into his files. Got a bunch of information from that. One of it was on this project Predacon. He seems to be trying to replicate Predacons using like cloning of fossils or something, it seems.
Something called existing CNA. Cybernucleic
Yeah.
acid, right?
He seems to be using existing CNA to reconstruct Predacons. Seems to be the gist of it.
Yep. Excuse me.
You'll see his eyes kind of wide a bit, really, now.
Yeah.
Do you know how successful he was in that endeavor?
I'm not sure. It didn't seem like he'd gotten far enough to say that he'd successfully revived any yet, or cloned any, or whatever you'd call it just yet, but he seemed to have made some leeway, but not enough to say that it's actually gotten off its feet. But if it's now been made a one of the highest priority, he'll probably start advancing on it a lot faster.
Miss DM.
Yes.
These are convoy like patterns, right? These are like where people tend to go to at certain times, right?
Yep.
I would like a little like trail map, if you wouldn't mind, and maybe a few spots in that area that seem to be the highest and or most obscured.
Right. So, this particular location that are you looking specifically towards Project Predacon? Or all of them?
All of them.
All right. So
it's like a good spot to like tactically lay down some very very nice supporting fire.
all right, let me take a quick look at something. Where the fuck did I put it? Oh, of course.
Yeah, actually, I guess I didn't really have the time to bring it up, but the crates that I had you guys plant bombs back the other day on the last mission to the Decepticon depot actually had stuff for Project Predacon. A lot was going on, so I didn't really have time to explain a lot of my reasoning, and I apologize about that, but it was kind of a high priority situation where like we need to deal with this situation as fast as we can because we didn't have a lot of time.
You're fine, Mech. I know you have your secrets. That's why I don't question anything.
Yep. Yeah, no, I was intending to talk about it eventually. It just, in that moment, there wasn't time to explain the situation before things started to get really out of hand with all of those cons appearing.
So, Magnatar, you will note that the locations, all of the stuff that's being moved through Tiger Pax between Voss, Triptychon Station, and Kaon all seem to have one particular point within Tiger Pax itself that is basically a convergence point that has plenty of good cover, good ambush spots, and the likes. It's also closest to the Autobot side of Tiger Pax's territory, which means that it would be a lot easier for you to sneak into to set up any sort of traps or anything you want to do there without being easily spotted by the Decepticons. In fact, they are the ones taking a risk in that particular area. More than likely, this is the location that that Alita 1 had mentioned, or thereabouts around. You will also notice that the stuff being moved to the Sea of Rust for the construction, there is a massive amount of just like destroyed ground leading to the under parts of Cybertron and stuff, and a lot of destroyed buildings and such in the area that would provide plentiful cover.
So, are there any anti-air guns for on the Trypticon station, or are they just anti-infantry?
On Trypticon Station itself, the schematics that the Autobots have access to do show all sorts of weaponry, whether be it the main satellite cannon weapon. There are anti-infantry, there are anti-air as well. Most of them seem to be automated weaponry. Some of the anti-infantry weapons are within the station itself, being more than likely to defend certain hallways and rooms and the likes.
Alright, so Magnatar is gonna put his hands together and he's gonna be like, I'm already cooking up a plan, I just might need a little bit of help.
Oh yeah?
What kind of plan?
Alright, is it like a piece of parchment or like a tablet I can use to like formulate?
Sure. I'll hand him my data pad.
Alright, so Trypticon Station is here, within the borders of Autobot territory, armed with a multitude of anti-air and anti-infantry guns.
Well,
Do remember, it's in
Sure.
space. It's in the orbit.
Yeah. Orbit above. Yeah.
In orbit above the spot. Okay, that's actually even better. Sweet.
Yep.
It's in orbit above, technically Voss, so closer to neutral territory.
In orbit to Voss. Alright, so we're gonna get a small team of 3 or 4. Some of the stealthiest and or quietest takedown bots we possibly have. Sneak in using the convoy of con ships. If not, maybe use our cloaking to sneak into the bottom of the station and try and deactivate the guns. Once that happens, we'll do a bombing run with our flyers, Nexus.
Yeah?
Would you be able to either join the stealth team or take part in aerial scouting? Because if not, I
I
can switch the plan
should
up.
let you know. I should probably be on the stealth team because the second I get access to the systems on Trypticon Station, I should be able to just literally hijack the entire station.
Excellent. So,
Yeah,
which means
because I worked on its systems a long time ago, so I know its internal systems like the back of my hands, and I have pretty high authority in its systems. So the second I get access to any sort of terminal on the station, I should be able to pretty much hijack the entire system, including its security system.
excellent.
And all of
So-
its weapons and defense systems, so
We'll have you on the stealth team with the blue line then.
yeah.
Now, for the distraction, the areas surrounding it have plenty of cover and plenty of places to breach from Voss ascending. We are going to send a force of allies using heavy support fire to rain down on any of the defenses to get them as distracted and as occupied on a frontal assault as possible. Now, thanks to the cover of the territory, this will hopefully, as long as no one makes any dumb fucking decisions, little to no casualties. But
Yeah.
again, not everything is, well, assured. I'm going to see if I can get the Lightning Strike Coalition team to help us out with this.
Yeah, we need probably some anti-orbital guns, though, to make
And
this
that's
work.
where Ratchet comes in. I mean, sorry, Wheeljack.
Yeah, I could probably help him with that as
Hmm.
well.
Speaking of, I need Brainstorm in on this too.
Yeah.
Hades, are you cool with joining in the frontal assault with me?
Yes, I would be. And I'll see what I can muster up as far as support from the knights if need be.
We love to see it. Alright, so Magnatar is gonna plan some escape routes just in case this is supposed to be some sort of bigger trap and or ambush.
Yeah, because he was gonna mention the whole thing, how no plan survives combat. So,
Yeah.
might as well.
Yeah, no, Magnatar just has this inkling of suspicion.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you know,
we...
just like anyone else, he likes to have as little casualties as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what you aim for.
We're going to have a very lackluster medical team just because we don't want a lot of them. Because if there's a lot of them, the enemy's gonna push in, get cocky, and try and target that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have one hidden behind the support line.
Yep. Anyways, what did I find for the...
Proud
with
Star?
that 19? Yeah, the critical 19.
So, you find... One second. Was I
And-
smart enough to make notes on
Let's
it?
see. And there is a note section in your character sheet, so you might want to make note of that so we all have a battle plan written down. So we remember it next time we go to do that.
Oh, I'm sure Anno's writing this all down somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also mapping it out, but I need to see the actual map before I do anything further.
Yeah.
I've got the
Yeah.
steps of the plan.
I'll
and I've
send
got the idea of it.
I'll send you
Good.
the maps here in a bit, and I just have to open my file browser to find them.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. So Nexus, you find on Project Proudstar that Sentinel has possibly located something that Seraphicus left behind. Something that you were unaware that Seraphicus left behind on his the last time he had been to Cybertron before his final voyage. There's also evidence that he may have found the Proudstar and Seraphicus. There are map coordinates to some unknown, uncharted place in space. There are also there's also a lot of ramblings about Project Proudstar, Seraphicus, and the unknown Shadow War. Nothing that you can make sense of because they are almost insane rants and ramblings.
Is the unknown Shadow War somehow related to Seraphicus' disappearance? Guess it's possible. It's not like there was anything that suggested that it happened on Cybertron after all.
There's also another map.
Prime is... Oh.
This map leads to somewhere on Cybertron.
Oh.
It leads to a location within the Sea of Rust, somewhere far beyond that of which the Decepticon movements are involved with.
Over the Nexus would probably like run his rub his thumb over where the interstellar coordinates are and kind of mutter to himself. And the war's over. Okay. This is some interesting stuff we've got here. Looks like there's something related to Project Proudstar somewhere in the Sea of Rust. Pretty deep into it.
You will note that the map that you found, Nexus, has a X marks the spot that simply says relic.
Looks like it's some kind of relic.
And above table.
Yeah.
Where was the location of that one cave we knew about?
The cave, it was
Yeah.
beneath the transfer depot that technically wasn't in any specific city.
Oh.
It was in between some territories.
Okay, well, I thought it was a different cave, the one with the box.
Oh, that is far beyond the Sea of Rust.
Okay. All right. Cool.
The cave is far beyond
Yeah,
the Sea of
the
Rust
cave.
to uncharted territories of even Cybertron.
All right.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, is there anything in the Proudstar information that seems to give any indications to what that depot area was? Like what his interest in that depot area was and why, how?
Yeah, that is where Sentinel believes what was left behind is, deep within the cavern. You
Okay.
also, Nexus, you quickly go over what was found in the Decepticon stuff. You find one more thing.
Oh,
Project Dark had been moved back to the station.
I see. Project
So it's-
Dark. I guess I should probably go about explaining what Project Dark is, huh?
It would be helpful.
I don't know exactly what its origins are. I think it's something old. The Primes know more about it than they're willing to let on. That's nothing new. It's something I call Dark Energon, but I'm not really sure how accurate that is. It's a substance that's very similar to Energon and can be used like it, except it's corruptive. It's powerful but it messes with the systems and it can be used. I saw Shockwave experimenting with it not long before I deserted the Decepticons. It was able to bring the dead back to life. It reanimated them, but they weren't alive necessarily.
Sounds disgusting.
Cause those and if it was injected into a living bot, it was able to give them improved physical abilities, but at the cost of their sanity. They'd go berserk and they'd lose their sense of self. Also, I've reason to believe that it's most likely a slightly addictive substance as well, based on my preliminary findings. Seems to truly and thoroughly affect one's mind if used on them. It's the first instance of it that I ever became aware of was found somewhere in deep space. Beyond that, I don't really know what its true origins are.
So, GM, obviously I would not know what Dark Energon is, but would there be anything sounding similar to those effects in the archives in terms of information?
Yes. Basically, the Knights have information on the original Project Dark worked on by Genesis. Not a lot of information on it because so much of it was hidden, but you do have some.
Okay. Probably not knowing more than the Nexus Genesis himself,
Yeah.
But I was just curious
Yep.
if that would pique my interest and I would see if there was any other notes. But if not, then there's no need.
Yep.
That's why I was so concerned with getting it out of their hands. And also why I was telling people to be extremely careful about not touching it directly and stuff like that, because the risks that come with being infected by Dark Energon are... I don't know the full extent of the effects, because after I realized after my preliminary findings of just how dangerous it was, I sealed it away. Because it was too dangerous to test any further. The only way to find out more information would be to test it on subjects, dead and alive, and that was a line I was unwilling to cross. The only reason I know it can reanimate the deceased is because of Shockwave's unethical experimentations with them while I was still a part of the Decepticons.
And no doubt he's continued in that since we left.
Exactly. That's why I've been so obsessed with Project Dark in particular. Part of the reason I left was because of Project Dark. Was because I can't abide the use of that substance. It's too dangerous. It's not the kind of power that anyone should... Some things are better left unknown, and this is one of those things, because the cost of finding out the knowledge behind this substance, the things one would have to do in order to be able to thoroughly research it, it's just too cruel. It's too twisted. It crosses too many lines that one should never be willing to cross.
I have to wonder
That's why I
if
couldn't abide by it. So I left, though there were a few other reasons as to why I left as well. But one of the major ones was the involvement of Dark Energon. You
so.
were gonna say?
Yeah. So he'll kind of think to himself, a very troubled look on his face. I wonder if both of these Project Darks and Predacon have something to do with each other then. Do you think that they would have crossed both of those? Oh, fuck, I can't talk. Basically, he's saying...
At a later... I
cross both
think
of
at a
those. Yeah, I was
later
gonna say that.
stage, it's entirely reasonable to assume at a later stage, but considering that, based on what I saw of Dark Energon's ability to reanimate the deceased, and the nature of what Project Predacon is, first of all, it would require a full corpse in order to reanimate. From what I can tell, there aren't any proper full corpses left of the Predacons. Not enough, at least, to reanimate with Dark Energon. And second of all, Project Predacon is effectively engineering entirely new Predacons using samples of existing CNA from the few remains that are left of them. So, while I assume that Dark Energon probably won't help in the actual reconstruction of Predacons, it's not unreasonable to assume at some point, assuming he's able to properly reconstruct Predacons somewhere down the line using the methods he's going about using, that he might see what happens when one of these reconstructed Predacons gets injected with Dark Energon. Knowing him, it's something he'd definitely test out. However, I don't think it's necessarily at the stage where the two projects are at a point where it's reasonable to intersect with each other.
All I can hope is we can
Something
stop them before they can.
Yeah, it's not something I think we have to worry about at the minute, but it's something that we should definitely worry about for the future before it, and do our best to stop things before it gets to that point. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't put it past Shockwave.
With all this knowledge, I suppose it would be best to approach your good friend, don't you think?
You know, for Tryon?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, definitely. He'd definitely like to know about this Project Proudstar information.
And I want to see if he might know more about this sword.
Yeah, and this unknown Shadow War situation. Since it seems to be related to both the sword and Project Proudstar.
Hades will nod.
So, let's see if we can get information out of the big bot.
It is at. Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Hey, no, you go first.
I was asking, where was the sword during this time? Was he carrying it, or was it like on the table?
It's on your back.
It's on my back. Okay, because I was gonna have him like pick it up.
It's such it's such a heavy sword because it's a heavy sword. So you try to not put it down as often as possible, just because it's a pain in the ass to get it back on your back holster.
Fair. What has Magnatar been up to this whole time? Just listening.
So
I
he's
imagine
basically been going ham on the tablet and like constructing a plan. You see like you see him like heating up, and you see this like he grins and smiles all the time, but this is just like he's giddy about this plan.
Oh boy.
It's a good plan.
Here's an idea, Magnatar. Might want to get in touch with Lita about that plan. Go over it with her. She might be able to help refine it too. Really make it ironclad as best we can before we put things into motion.
You read my fucking mind, because I was just gonna say, as y'all are discussing things and planning things, Magnatar, on your personal comm system, you get a call from Alita 1.
Commander, what's going on?
Magnatar, sorry to bother you, but things are moving faster than we thought. Tiger Pax is currently being invaded by Decepticon forces. I'm getting ready to send out Autobots to try and stop them, push them back, and keep them from taking the territory. If you and your team are able to help, now might be the best chance.
Absolutely. Get the Lightning Strike Coalition force on the team and get some of the stealthiest flyers we got.
I think you have a plan. I like it. All right, I'll do what I can. Nexus.
Once I get over there, I'll let you know.
Nexus. It is at this point that you get a call as well.
Oh, who from?
Take a guess.
Yep.
Nexus.
Oh. Yep.
I don't know exactly what it is you're doing down there in that temple and what it is you're looking over, what information you did find. What I do know is that you are aware of the unknown Shadow War. And what I do know is that there is something that I think you know the location of. A relic. A relic that is in danger of falling into the wrong hands. If you get there as soon as possible, it might stop a greater enemy than that of the Decepticons from obtaining a weapon that could change the fate of our planet for the future. Do what you can. Get there as soon as possible. And he hangs up.
He always does that. He just gives me the bare minimum information and expects me to go off that like it's everything I need to know, damn it. Okay, so sound like you got a call from one of the higher ups, Magnatar. What was that about?
Commander Alita 1 called. It's being invaded right now, as we speak.
That's
And
not
just in
good.
time, I've got Operation Aerostorm completed. I'll let everyone else know and see if they can refine the plan.
Okay, we might have to divide and conquer, because the relic that I got this map to, from the Proud Star stuff, that's in the Sea of Rust, is apparently in danger of falling into hands worse than the Decepticons, and could put in danger the future of Cybertron, apparently, according to Alpha Trion.
You aren't gonna
That's
take
right.
over, are you not gonna be able to take over the, Tripticon for us then?
I'm not sure.
So,
Knights are... The Knights fight for more than just the auto... Yeah, Knights don't get super involved in the war, right? They're mainly here to fight against threats greater than, like, threats like the Quintessons and stuff, right? Hades?
I believe you read my mind, yes. He'll look over.
Okay.
Presumably, I can see Crossguard, yes?
Yes, Crossguard has returned, kind of overhearing the discussion happening right now.
Okay,
I have been made aware of what is happening in Tiger Pax. Nexus, while us knights try not to choose a side between Decepticon or Autobots, what is happening now is far beyond what we ever expected this war to become, and it's still early on. I have called back the knights who are fighting on the side of the Decepticons to take cover and hide back in the underground and even return to the temple.
okay.
The rest of the knights will
That's
join
good.
the Autobot front. However, Nexus, you are needed for this mission. I will send
know.
myself and some of the
That's
other
why I was
first.
gonna ask you guys for... Yeah.
Yes, myself, I will join the front lines. Wing Saber, Strong Arm, and Override, however, they will take a look into this location of the relic that you and Alpha Trion seek. They will report back to you depending on what they find, if they need you for whatever reason.
Of course. I'll quickly make like a copy in my own files of the map, like download a copy of that, and then I'll hand them over to him.
And at this point, Wing Saber and your other old buddies, Override and Strong Arm, come walking in. Crossguard takes the data that you gave, excuse me, and hand it to Wing Saber. All right, knights. It is time for us to take action after all this time. Go swiftly and bravely, my brothers. And the three of them will kind of nod and then salute to Hades. The knight's salute.
He'll repeat it back.
And with that, they head off. I will
Thanks.
gather what knights I can and meet Alpha Trion and the other Autobot leaders for the frontal assault.
Of course. Well then, Magnatar, looks like I will be able to make it.
Excellent, because you're critical for this mission.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was really torn for a second there. Then let's go prepare.
Alright, I'm
got a
going to let
spaceship to
everyone in
hijack.
on the plan.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna let Alita in and the Lightning Strike Coalition Force and to ask them to meet in. I'm gonna have... You know what? Lifeline or Ratchet for the one medic we have on this team. I know that's not a good idea to have just one medic, but trust me, there's a method to this madness.
Well, we do have a new medic on the team, if you forgot. One loose wires. Where would you rather have them?
Loose wires I'm not too sure on right now. I'm sure that they're a great medic and all, but I don't know them. You feel me?
Hmm.
So your medic options
Right.
are Red Alert, Ratchet, and Hard Lift then.
Hardlift was the NPC that was with us the entire time, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
she is this one.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm gonna have her come with us.
Alrighty.
Yeah, have hard lift. Alright.
All right.
Do you wish to meet in the Hall of Records or somewhere in Iacon with the Autobot leaders?
Iacon, this is important.
Gotcha. Let me go ahead and move all the proper tokens over.
So yeah, because I was debating whether or not to have Hades join the crew at the dig site, at the relic location, but since we are having people at the front lines, then yeah, I guess he'll join with Magnatar with the assault team.
Yep. Alright, let me go ahead and pull out your guys' allies
Thank God
here.
for the knights.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
Because
That is quite literally why they exist in my story, is because they are there to do a lot of stuff that not everyone realizes. Alright, let me go ahead and pull out the leaders. Let me just get all the NPCs set up here. Can't forget him either. And then, where is the motherfucker? There he is. And then, alrighty. So, alright, Magnatar. Alita tells us that you have a plan.
Yep. Operation Aerostorm. I'm gonna need a flying stealth team that'll deploy and hold these station towers right here. I post the station towers at these control points. Hold them until you're absolutely sure every single enemy up there is eliminated. And if a wave keeps coming out from Trypticon Station, try and push them back to the door. Meanwhile, I have the Lightning Strike Coalition force and any heavy gunners that we have on hand to not only hold the front point as a distraction, but the moment the Decepticons start retreating, start slowly pushing in. If the towers get claimed first, we will start to push in. And here's the prime piece. He points over to Nexus. Nexus knows more about the internal workings of that monstrosity of a machine than anyone. And if he's inside of it, Trypticon Station is basically ours at that point.
Yep. All I need is access to a single terminal, and I should be able to take control of the entire internal systems, including the internal self-defense systems, meaning I can effectively operate any of the internal weaponry as well as external security system.
Where
from
are you?
within.
Where are you going? I don't see Alpha sneaking away there.
Yeah. Everyone, roll
Yeah.
alertness real quick.
I am technically looking in that direction. Do I get
Not technically. You're technically looking at a table with maps and plans
That's
on
fair.
it.
Okay, but because it's me and Alpha Trion, do I get anything for that?
Nope.
27.
Okay.
Oh my
Nice,
god.
nice.
Bad. For a D2, not too bad.
Yeah. What'd you get?
21.
21. All right. Magnatar and Hades, y'all see Alphatron quietly walk off. Nexus, you are too focused on all the plans now going through your head on what you should build now.
Alpha Trion, what you doing?
And he just kind of continues to walk off before he just vanishes into the
Never
city.
mind.
Let him. He's probably going to rendezvous with. Yeah. Anyways.
he draws a few lines on the map of the area, and he's like, "We are gonna use anything but the main road. The main road is basically a death sentence. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use the long left road. We're gonna have a convoy of the biggest in the front, and we're only gonna have one medic for the job. That medic will be hardline, because if they even see a few of us,
Hard lift.
they'll know it's a hard lift. Thank you. Out of character.
problem.
Yep.
Hard lift. If they find multiple of them, the guys on tower control point can be more mindful and shoot from above and destroy us. That's a bad thing. So, we're going to want to hide her as much as possible. This is why I want the Lightning Strike Coalition force. Grimlock, you think you can push up with us?
Oh, I definitely can push up with you guys. All of the Lightning Coalition.
Excellent. All of you, you are going to head up to the top of these buildings, including these medical stations up here. You will post down, and you will start laying fire. The Decepticons will believe that this is a major ambush, and while we're laying down the heavy distractions and nicely nestled and guarded, we'll have the stealth team come in, take down the towers, hold it, and of course, have Nexus take over the machine. Now on the inside, if we're the ones who have to accomplish the task first and run out of enemies to fight, we push in. But here are the escape routes. So, key points between the alleyways, through the, it's not a sewer line, but I see like a little hole in there, a few exits through, that might be used. The main road, which should be cleared, and then the stealth team, can leave through these, following points right here.
Here, let me actually make it so y'all can see the map. The maps in the system.
Yeah, because I'm kind of posting them, in general. I have no way to, like, further draw without, like,
Yeah.
being tedious.
So let me
Yeah.
go ahead and
Key thing, unseen and aggressive.
alright, so those are the two maps.
Hold up. The hell?
One is
Freehand,
not
there we go.
loading.
Huh?
Yeah, one didn't quite fully load.
Oh, of course not. Which, do you guys see the one with a bunch of circles?
I did
Yeah,
not.
yeah, my bad. That was me on accident. Can you put the maps back up?
Yep.
Because I tried drawing on them and, okay, there we go.
Oh, here, let me configure the ownership for you guys. So you guys can better do stuff with them.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can directly draw on them. I'm not sure how that works. But again, I'm still learning some aspects of Foundry.
Okay, one loaded, the other did not, but that's okay.
I
see the
guess
one with
it's
the
one at a
circles.
time.
But
Yeah.
so it should be in general chat, but anywho, the escape routes are going to be under and between the towers because it's going to be even harder to shoot from there. And it's like basically a weaved path, which will be hard to follow and go through in. And then for us, on the ground, that would be through the roads and alleyways, split up. They will meet further in the back, and we'll just have an auxiliary team, which will be Alita and the others to basically pretty much to make sure there's a proper escape route and to make sure we're not being converged on by some secondary plan.
A sound strategy.
That's actually a really sound strategy, Magnatar. Like, dang. Well done.
I
Orion.
have my moments.
And Alita will look to Orion and is like, Orion, if there's ever a time better for you to start really taking up that position that you were given so long ago, I think now is the time. And Orion will look to everyone and be like, yes, it is. We know that the Decepticons are moving to attack in a matter of hours. While we prepare these plans, Magnatar, Nexus, Hades, I ask of one more thing from all of you.
And what would that
Of
be?
course.
To travel with me to locate the matrix of leadership.
The Matrix?
Let's go.
It is
Do
time.
I know where it's located, by the way?
Nope. Orion does,
I
though.
was- Yeah. I assume you know where it's located?
Close enough.
Cool. And let's go.
It
Let's
shouldn't
make
take
you a
us too
prime.
long.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Alright. And
I imagine it's probably closer to the center of Cybertron. Just based on what I know about where it's was last seen. And how it operates.
alright. I presume they would need to be kind of covert about this, but Hades could carry them by flight if need be?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Or
Magnatar, will you be joining them?
Anno.
I was talking.
Oh, we didn't hear you.
Yeah, we did not
Oh,
hear you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's all
You're
good.
fine. So what did you say?
I said I'm in.
All right.
Ah,
Cool.
Okay. So, but yeah, he'd be like, I understand speed is of the. Yeah. I'm of the understanding time is of the essence. Then, I can fly us there if need be.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be best, actually.
All right,
Yep.
so he's gonna carry
will.
y'all.
All right. I apparently forgot to make the map, so let me just do that real quick. Really quick. Let me get this grid underway. Alright, come on. Make sure that you guys can see the map, because I know I continuously forget to turn that on often. Come on. I have to look through the frickin' files and whatnot for the damn map. Just make sure the scale is to scale. So let me just... Alright, this needs to scale up just a bit more. Make sure that the lighting is correct. Again, gotta make sure that scale is to goddamn scale.